you still show up to work every day. You're not exactly miserable, but you're not alive either. Every morning, a quiet question lingers in the back of your mind. How much longer can I live like this? There are no alarms that tell you you've taken a wrong turn. Only a quiet hum inside, subtle, persistent, whispering that you may be drifting away from yourself. If that hum has become familiar, stay with me. In this video, we'll explore 8 subtle yet powerful signs that it may be time to move on from your current job. Welcome to Today is a Gift, where we don't rush through life, but pause to listen to ourselves, to the moment, and to the life we're meant to live. Think back to your early days at this job. You were probably tired, maybe overwhelmed, but deep down, there was a spark. You were curious, open, hungry to grow. Now, you do your tasks on autopilot. No questions. No excitement. Just repetition. When you no longer feel a desire to learn or improve, it's a sign something deeper is fading. Learning isn't just about gaining skills, it's how our soul stays alive at work. A job that no longer challenges you, that no longer asks you to evolve, slowly turns into a cage. And over time, that cage becomes invisible, because you've adapted to it. Ask yourself this: am I still growing here, or am I just surviving? It starts at night. You stare at the ceiling, your body still but your mind wide awake. A quiet ache whispers, "What if I never try? What if I let this life pass me by?" This isn't about having a bad day or disliking your boss. It's deeper. It's the discomfort of knowing there's something more you were meant to do, and the fear that you'll never give yourself permission to explore it. Sleepless nights are often our soul's way of begging for attention. When you can't stop thinking about a different path, it may be because that path is calling you. And ignoring that call doesn't make it go away. It just makes the silence heavier. You don't need to quit everything tomorrow. But you do need to start listening. Sometimes the hardest thing isn't taking the leap, it's admitting that deep down, you already know you should. A snide comment in a meeting. A disrespectful email. A task that goes against your values. It's nothing big, just small stings. So you brush them off. It's fine, you say. Not worth making a fuss. But here's the truth: tiny wounds, ignored daily, don't disappear, they accumulate. One little compromise becomes 10. Then 100. Then one day, you wake up and feel completely numb. Psychologist Jordan Peterson calls this the danger of micro-decisions. 1,000 times you choose silence. 1,000 times you choose to stay. Until the job you once accepted becomes the life you never wanted. We often think burnout comes from doing too much. But sometimes, it comes from swallowing too much of what hurts, in silence. Death by 1,000 paper cuts isn't just a metaphor. It's a warning. There's a difference between being busy and being fulfilled. You might check off every task, meet every deadline, hit every goal, but still feel empty at the end of the day. We often confuse productivity with purpose. But the soul knows the difference. When your work no longer connects to something that matters to you, a quiet sadness sets in. You begin to ask, why am I even doing this? Jordan Peterson says it best. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. But it's a moral obligation to pursue what is meaningful. Not every job has to save the world. But if it's slowly draining your spirit and giving nothing back, that's a cost you can't afford to ignore. Your time, your energy, your life force, those are sacred. Give them to something that gives something back. Maybe you tell yourself, at least it's stable. It's not that bad. What if I leave and things get worse? Fear is a master of disguise. It dresses up as logic, caution, even responsibility. But underneath it all, it's still fear. And fear is a poor reason to build a life. There's an old saying, better the devil you know than the one you don't. But what if the devil you know is the very thing holding you back from becoming who you're meant to be? Staying because you believe in your work is one thing. But staying because you're afraid to leave? That's survival, not living. Change will always feel risky. But so is staying in a place where your heart no longer lives. Safety isn't real if it costs you your soul. You nod. You agree. You stay silent. Not because you want to, but because you feel like you have no other choice. That's the most dangerous part of losing yourself at work. You stop believing you have options. Jordan Peterson calls this the loss of negotiation power. If you don't have a way out, no plan, no backup, no vision for something better, then you can't say no. And when you can't say no, you're no longer free. Freedom doesn't mean quitting tomorrow. It means remembering that you still have agency. It means quietly building your exit plan, learning new skills, saving money, growing connections, so that your yes means something again. You deserve a life where your choices are real. Not a life where silence is your only survival tool. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in 5 years. Do you see growth? Possibility? A version of you that feels more alive? Or do you see the same desk, the same routine, the same tired smile, just older, wearier, more resigned? One of the clearest signs that it's time to move on is this. You've stopped imagining a future in your current job. Hope is quiet, but when it disappears, it leaves an echo. And that echo sounds like, what's the point? This is just how life is. I guess I'll just settle. But you were not made to settle. You were not made to shrink yourself into someone else's version of enough. If your future feels invisible where you are, maybe it's not because you're lost. Maybe it's because this place was never meant to hold your next chapter. Some days, it's not stress, not burnout, not even exhaustion. It's something quieter, deeper. Like your soul is slowly slipping out of reach, bit by bit, day by day. You find yourself becoming someone you barely recognize. Less joy, less laughter, less light. You get through the week, but you don't remember what it feels like to be fully alive. If your job makes you feel like this, it's not just a bad fit. It's a signal. A wake-up call. A quiet nudge from within that says, you were not meant to disappear here. Work will always come with challenges. But it should never cost you your essence. Not your peace. Not your self-respect. Not the fire in your chest that reminds you you're here to live, not just exist. If any of these signs felt familiar, don't panic. You don't have to change everything overnight. But the fact that you're noticing, that you're questioning, that's already a powerful shift. Maybe the first step isn't quitting, maybe it's just listening. To the part of you that still dreams. To the whisper that says, there's more. This is your life. And you deserve a version of it that doesn't just look good on paper, but feels good in your soul. Speech balloon, if this video spoke to you, I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe to Today is a Gift. Because healing takes time, and you don't have to walk through it alone.